white, and blue, we're flying high. Sydney Roosters reach the sky. Eastern suburbs. We took flight. Come on. Born in Bondi, southern skies ignite. From the east, our spirits rise. Red, white, blue, our story told. From nothing we rose, made our claim. Eastern pride, we built our name. Stronger now, we never fall. Rooster spirit standing tall. Yeah, come on, feel that pride. Let's go. Since the start, the legacy lives. Passion, power, the heartbeat gives. Red and blue, we walk with pride. Fans by side, can't hide our vibes. Flags up high, crowd in sync. Roosters rule, we never blink. Eastern suburbs. Eastern suburbs. Red, white, and blue, we're flying high. Sydney Roosters reach the sky. Eastern suburbs. Roosters! Get up! Feel that pride! Grand on fire, glory set. Fighting with fire, no regrets. Yeah! Every tackle, every try, hit hard.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Sydney Roosters Diehards. It is Hainsey here, and we are here for your Teamlist Tuesday live reaction as Trent Robinson has named his screwed up my lines already. Good start. Trent Robinson has named his 22-man squad as the Sydney Roosters take on the New Zealand Warriors in New Zealand this Friday night, kicking off at 8 o'clock local time, 6 p.m. in Sydney, 5 o'clock in Brisbane as well. Just received word that the Roosters are on their way to New Zealand. They're at the airport. They're in the Marky Marks, actually, and Toops and Siwa, enjoying a little bit of the Qantas Club. So all the best, boys. Safe travels to the rest of the lads. And looking forward to, obviously, Friday night's game against the Warriors. Hang on, just fixing up the show notes here. So, but yes. How's everybody doing? We'll get to the live chat very, very shortly. As you can tell here on the Sydney Roosters Diehards, we are, as always, unorganised. Named. That'll do. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. And there. There we go. All right, so let's get straight into it. So hope you guys enjoy. Make sure if you guys are new around here, make sure hope you guys consider liking the content, subscribing to the Sydney Roosters Diehards, and give us a follow on the Instagram for your latest Roosters updates, news, and opinions. And yeah, let's get straight into it. We'll get into the live chat as well. Jake is in here. G'day, Jake. How are you, my friend? Best day aside from game day. Yeah, the two best days of the week for me are Teamlist Tuesday and game day, 100%. Jason Reader, g'day, Jason. How are you, my friend? And up the Roosters. And Jake says up keen, lad. Yeah, mate, I'm always keen for Team List Tuesday. But obviously, we'll go through a little bit of reaction to the team list and also react to my predicted lineup, see how well we went. I've got some questions and bits and pieces over the next few minutes or so. So I hope you guys, like I said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on the Instagram as well. Also, guys, as a reminder, game day content on Friday. I won't be in New Zealand, but I will have your game day content sorted on the Sydney Roosters Diehards and on my personal channel, Hainsey_YT. So make sure you like and subscribing with that one. I'll be doing a live stream watch along on Hainsey_YT. And immediately following the clash, we'll be back on here for a live stream match reaction, followed up by a player ratings video. So, like I said, got your game day content covered on here, ready to go for you guys from pretty much half an hour from kickoff. So looking forward to seeing you then. Right, let's get into it. So we get power up the NRL app. We'll go through it. We'll go through a little bit of the the Warriors team as well with their RR opponent. They really actually, I don't think I've even seen the Warriors team yet, to be fair. Who really cares? They're gonna lose anyway. But ignore the time, guys. Like I said, I live in Brisbane, so that's why it is on New Zealand on Brisbane time there. But it is 6 o'clock for you guys down south. The better place to be, obviously. Where are we? Where are we? Share screen, share screen, share screen. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right. We're in business. We are in business. All right. There we go. No. No. That'll do. All right. We'll start off with, obviously, we don't really give a rat's ass about the Warriors team. No disrespect to the Warriors fans and Warriors players. It's a Roosters related channel. Let's get into it. Obviously, starting off with the captain, James Tedesco at fullback. Daniel Tupou and Martin Awangani Tawase on the wings with Billy Smith and Rob Toyer in the centres. Obviously, Rob Toyer overcoming that little bit of hamstring tightness that he, which was reported after the trial game. That's why he didn't take part in the trial games this year. But it looks like he's overcome that and he's been named and looks like ready to go for the weekend. The halves of Daly Cherry Evans and Sam Walker, obviously DC East, officially making his Roosters debut this weekend. How exciting, obviously, partnering with the halves of Sam Walker. Nafahu White and Lindsay Collins in the front row with Benai Elu in jersey number 9 to obviously replace Reeves Robson over the next 6 weeks or so. The back row is Angus Crichton and Nat Butcher was the one who gets the start. I was a bit surprised by this one. I did mention in the predicted video yesterday about I was definitely thinking, Nat Butcher would be a chance, but I just think because he didn't play in that second trial game, I think they're going to say Nat Seawald was going to get the nod at the starting role, but it looks like Nat Butcher is going to be the one named. Obviously, there can still be changes between now and kickoff, but we'll wait and see. But for the time being, Nat Butcher named in the starting back row. Great to see Nat Butcher back on the field full time now. Obviously, he had a tough run with injury last year, so hopefully that he gets through it all unscathed this year and has a great year. I'm sure he's trained the house down pre-season. It's good to see him back. Blake Steep, Boyd Steep, named at lock. Now, I did say that this was a possibility. I did go with Connor Watson, but Blake Steep is named at lock. And I do have a reason why Connor Watson is in the 14 role, which I've just sort of revealed. But yeah, Blake Steep, Boyd Steep in at lock. Great choice by Robbo. And if I didn't go with Connor Watson at 13, that was my choice anyway. But anyway, so Connor Watson named in 14, Siwa Wong in jersey 15, Egan Butcher in jersey 16, and Spencer Linu rounding out the 17 with also the inclusion of the 6-man bench. It looks like it is an opportunity for a Roosters debut as well for Cody Ramsey, named in jersey 18, and Junior Ponga in jersey 19. So very, very interesting of what we've done here. With our bench, we've gone a utility in Connor Watson, 3 middles or 3 forwards. You could say middles. We could see why I can play middle as well. But Siwa, Egan Butcher, and Spencer in the middle, and then 2 outside backs on the reserves. On the bench as well, rounding out the 6-man bench. And then the remaining reserves, only named 22, Celeste Fichetti, Tommy Talau, and Toby Rodwell. There's a bit of a late change already. There's no jersey number 19 for the Warriors, so that's interesting. But yes, so only 3 reserves named after the 6-man bench, so that could be something to look into. But yeah, Trent Robertson, coach, of course, of the Sydney Roosters. Right, let's get into the Warriors team news. Obviously, they are our opponents this weekend, so we'll have a little bit of a quick read on what the Warriors lineup is looking like for our clash on Friday. So Charles Nicoll-Klostad is the fullback, with Dallin 110 Zelezniak on the one week, with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the other, with Ali Luatana and Adam Pompey in the centres. Channel Harris DeVita in the halves with Tanner Boyd. Looks like Luke Metcalf still recovering from that ACL injury, so he's unavailable for the Warriors this weekend. The forward pack for the Warriors, James Fisher-Harris, the captain, with Jackson Ford, Wade Egan at number 9, Kurt Capewell and Jacob Laban in the back row with Aaron Clark at lock, Sam Haley, Demetric Faramunga, Leka Halasima, Tanner Sal Smith, Tane Tuapiki, and Morgan Gannon are the 6-man bench. Lofi Campiero come from the Titans in jersey 21, Luke Henson, Eddie Luma Torvia, and that is the 23 named. Obviously, quick to note that Mitch Barnett is also unavailable. Obviously, he suffered a ACL injury last year as well. So both Luke Metcalf and and Mitch Barnett unavailable for the Warriors this weekend. So, but yeah, so that's a bit of a bummer there if you're a Warriors fan. But thankfully for us Roosters fans, we're not Warriors fans, so we don't have to worry about it right now. But right, let me hear your thoughts in the comments about this lineup. Jake says DC and Walker to run the show. Well, it's pretty obvious that it's going to be Sam Walker running the show with DCE there as well. It's obviously going to be really, really interesting of what's going to look like come Friday, but we'll have a good indication on what it's going to look like on Friday. So can't wait for it. Right, so my initial thoughts on it straight away. A lot of people were asking me, Hugo Savala, where is Hugo? I did name him in the predicted lineup. Now, I did mention about a week or two ago, Hugo has been, I spoke to him after the Eels trial game, and he was in a moon boot. And I just simply asked, "Oh, you're all right? What's happened?" He's like, "Oh, I rolled my ankle in the Tigers game." And, so I've just been put in the moon boot as a precaution. But it looks like that it might be, a sprained ankle somewhere. I don't think it's too bad of an injury, obviously because the Roosters haven't reported it. But people are like, "Oh, he hasn't been named out of the squad." But I'm thinking, no, he's just injured at the moment. He's probably a week or two away from playing again. But what secured it for me was we'll go through the New South Wales Cup team as well. The Roosters New South Wales Cup side was named and Hugo wasn't there. And if you're being on, and obviously Toby Rodwell is named in the 23-man squad. If it wasn't going to be, if Hugo was fit and available, he would have been named in the squad regardless. So the reason why Toby Rodwell was probably at the moment named in the squad is because Hugo Savala is unavailable. So we definitely will see Hugo Savala in the 19 this year at some point. Obviously not going to be this week. I doubt it'll be next week. But I know that, it's nothing on performance and all that. He had a great 40-minute trial game against the Tigers. Rolled his ankle. Looks like there's some damage there. A little bit of a sprained injury. How do I know about this? Because obviously I ran into him and had chatted to him about it. But me and my brother were playing footy up here in Brisbane, right? And my brother rolled his ankle and he redid it again a week later. And he's sort of been, still recovering from that about three weeks later afterwards. So it's sort of around that time frame. Obviously, it's nothing that serious because if it was serious, like a Reece Robson broken thumb, the Roosters would have reported it and put it on the socials. There would have been an update on the NRL.com website. There would have been NRL physio. He would have got his hands on it and it would have been talked about. So it's sort of a bit of a minor injury. Same thing with Rob Toya. It was a minor injury. It wasn't needed to be reported, but I will double check. Actually, I don't want to really say that and then come out and NRL.com have released the injury casualty ward, and he's actually injured, so properly injured. So, but yes, I'll just double check that with you guys, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get back to you in just a sec. NRL casualty ward. I think it should still remain Reece Robson and Victor Radley because Victor Radley's suspended still. So. The Roosters, Victor Radley, Reece Robson thumb, Victor round 7 suspension. There you go. So, like I said, nothing being reported on, nothing's been reported on the NRL website on the casualty ward. The Roosters haven't made any statements. NRL physio hasn't said anything. So, it's not too big of a deal. I think you'll probably be close to a week or two before we be available for selection again. But I'm really, really interested to see as well. Like I did name, obviously, pretty close starting 13. The only change that I got wrong was Siwa Wong. I named it on the back row alongside Angus Crichton. It was actually Nat Butcher. Now it was tossing and Connor Watson as well. And if you guys did watch the predicted video yesterday, come out yesterday and last night, I did say that it was tossing turning between Siwa Wong and Nat Butcher for me. I just thought that the match fitness, still a little bit underdone with obviously Nat Butcher coming back from his a season-ending injury last year, and that's why I leaned towards Siwa Wong. Obviously, he played most of the year in that side. But it looks like, obviously, Nat Butcher, a specialist back rower, maybe Siwa will be better used in the middle, off the bench kind of thing. And obviously, with Blake Steep named at lock, I did name Connor Watson, and I was sort of tossing and turning between them two as well. I just thought that I was of the impression that Hugo was available for selection. Obviously, that isn't the case. But I think that Watto would most likely start and then Hugo is the 14. But obviously with Hugo out and Reece Robson out, Connor Watson has to be the 14, has to be that utility, and no better person to be at lock than Boyd Steep. So I think that's why Robbo has gone with that path. The bench is surprising me. Obviously, I don't expect, like I said, I expected Connor Watson to be either 13 or 14. I did expect to have sort of like a 4, like, 3, the way it is. Obviously, Siwa, Egan Butcher, and Spencer. I'm okay with that, obviously, with Connor Watson. Connor Watson can cover the lock /9. That's sorted. Egan, Siwa, and Spencer, they'll cover the middle, back row if needed. But what I'm more surprised about is that we've gone with a free front row, 3 middles on this bench with 1 utility and 2 outside backs. Because I was always under the impression of Junior Ponga was going to be that outside back utility because he can cover the center and wing position. If Tedesco was the one who had to be taken off, that's when I was having the impression, because we saw it in the trial game against Parramatta, that Marky Markle was going to move back to fullback and have Ponga on the wing. But it looks like it's going to be Junior Ponga covering the wing and center positions, and then Cody Ramsey is going to be the one covering James Tedesco if he's injured, or maybe on the left side, right side combination kind of thing. Who knows? But maybe that might be the occasion as well. Maybe Cody Ramsey will be covering Daniel Tupou and Billy Smith if they're injured, and Junior Ponga on the right side covering Bob Toyer and Mark Nolonganitawase. And obviously Cody Ramsey will most likely be the one to replace Tedesco as the fullback. But I still would like to see a half in there. Obviously, when Hugo returns, he will be there, and he'll be that specialist utility to get us out of a hole. Because, if we do have an injury this weekend, with 2 Sam Walker at DCE, it is going to be Connor Watson to move into the halves. And no disrespect to Watto, I love Watto, but he's not a 6. He's not a 7. He's a hooker / forwards utility. We've seen that experience in the past of we just feel a little bit underdone when Connor Watson has been required to play in the halves. But having a Hugo Savala there will give us that more reassurance. But obviously he's not available. So hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, that our halves are unscathed, and we have other positions covered. But it does make sense, but I'm a bit surprised that we have 2 outside backs on this 6-man bench. It would have been interesting if we, made it carried, maybe a Celeste Fiketti instead of a Ramsey, because I'm saying that not disrespect the Ramsey whatsoever. I'm saying that Ramsey hasn't really played any trial games either, so we haven't really seen him. Obviously, but Robert's seen him, obviously, in the 4 walls there. They know what they're doing. But, obviously, I probably would have preferred that one. Even a Tommy Talau. He's had trial games under his belt. So has Junior Ponga. Ramsey hasn't had many match fitness under his belt. Obviously, it's not going to be required if you're, coming off the bench, in the 50, 60 minute mark if needed. So, but, that's just, but I still probably would have gone with a, an extra forward to replace, a forward, I guess, because, but obviously, if we just for example, Celeste Fiketti over Cody Ramsey, then Junior Ponga can cover both sides of the outside backs, and then Tedesco is the one who needs to come off, and then Marky Mark the fullback, and then we're not really impeded that much. So that's just my thoughts. Obviously, I'm not the coach, and there's a reason why I'm not the coach, because I'm an idiot. But anyway, but anyway, so I did pretty well with the predicted lineup. We only named 22, so obviously. I didn't name Taylor Lasalu and De La Salle Va'a, but it looks like, obviously their names in New South Wales Cup side, which we will go through as well. We still have a bit of time up our sleeve to go through the New South Wales Cup side as well. But yeah, obviously that, but I think I got like 15 out of 24. So that's not too bad. Obviously, there was some that I was out of position in the wrong number kind of thing, but I didn't name him in the side. So I am going to count it, but not too bad after all, to be fair with you. You got a good at predictions aside, that's the thing, right? Even though it's a prediction, right, it is sort of similar. You've got to get a read of what Robbo does. And I go through the comments, and I always like to hear your guys' thoughts on it and have your say on it. And most of the people that comment on the predicted lineups, the first thing they're saying about Celeste Fiketti over Egan and Nat Butcher, right? That's one of the main thing that I hear is the unhappiness of having Egan Butcher and Nat Butcher on the side. Look, I'm fans of the Butcher brothers, right? I am fans of them, and I'm a fan of Celeste Fiketti, but you've also got to read into these predictions. It is not just a prediction of my predictions. It's also what is most likely Robbo is going to do. And I could tell and see that Robbo has a lot of faith and trust in these boys. And and it proves that. Nat Butcher to start when he's his first game back at first grade since mid last year. Egan Butcher, like I said, I'm not a fan of this hate towards Egan Butcher, right? I think he's a good footballer, and he was a little bit underdone last year because he was coming back from a serious knee injury. But we see the potential, and I think it's more frustration than anything about Egan. But I know the potential of Egan Butcher, and I know how well he can be. And I'm always, I think now, the mature age now where the experience is going to be needed. So I think I can understand why Egan, with experience like Nat Butcher, with experience, they're in the side over Celeste Fiketti. Celeste Fiketti's time will come. Don't get me wrong. He still has, he only debuted last year, guys. So he's a great footballer, and we'll see a lot more of him. But at the start, obviously that's what Robbo has decided to do, and that's why I went with the Butcher brothers over him, because I think that's the way Robbo was leaning towards. But I do agree that Celeste Fiketti should be in the 6-man bench. I would have had him over Cody Ramsey, but that's just me. But yeah, I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well down below. Do you think Hugo is going to see much game time this year? Hard to say. Like, he's not available for selection right now. But is this what Robbo is going to do now with having Connor Watson as the out-and-out 14 going into this year? Because the way I see it now is that for the next 6 weeks, next 6 to 7 weeks is going to be Blake Seep to be a lock. Maybe it might change when Hugo returns, but for the time being, Blake Seep's a lock. Connor Watson's the 14, and it looks like most likely that Connor Watson's going to be the 14 when Radley returns. Radley's probably going to be the lock, and then Blake Seep comes back to the bench or even to the right edge for Victor Radley out of that Butcher. But it feels like that. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Connor Watson starting at lock this year. I think that he's going to be the 14, the utility player for most of the year. So that's just a gut feeling. You might change when Hugo returns, but that's what it appears to look like anyway. But either Messiah will be unleashed this year. That's it. Mate, tell Wayne that. Message Wayne, the giggity guy. Message Wayne and get him to make a banner of that, because that is absolutely fire. Benai the Messiah. That's it. That's unreal. But yeah, he will be unleashed. He was unleashed last year, honestly. And like I said, he's probably the best hooker for Samoa right now. And I think it is a blessing in disguise for Benai, where he was in a bit of a scrap to get into the side this year. Having a Reece Robson injury, obviously, it's never nice to see your main hooker get injured, but having that injury in the preseason now allows Benai that opportunity to shine in the next 6 weeks and prove to Robbo and the rest of us that he deserves to be in the 19 each week. 100%. But yeah, Benai the Messiah, that's a sick rhyme there for sure. We'll go through some of our Instagram questions as well that we've been sent in over the last hour or so. Where are we? Where are we? There it is. Mick Move says, long season, people need to relax on Hugo. That he will get plenty of games. I think so too. Like, it is round 1. There's still a lot of things can happen between now and round 27, right? There's a lot of things can happen. So, it's not all doom and gloom. I don't even think there is anything to worry about if you're a Hugo fan. Like myself, I'm a Hugo fan, but I just generally think he's injured. And I'm sure we'll know more. I think it makes more sense that he wasn't even named in the 24 and he wasn't even named in Cup. So there was no way that if he was not going to be named in the 19, he was not be playing Cup. There must be something going on there that is far that we know. Scott Alexander says Fiketti over Butcher, which is pretty much the common thing that I get. But anyway, that's for another day. We'll go through the New South Wales Cup team list too, just give you guys a bit of an indication as well with our New South Wales Cup side. Just a reminder as well, not all 3 grades are playing on Friday. I know there's a double header in New Zealand. Obviously, we all know what New South Wales Cup sides are like. They always swap and change between now and game day, but the sides have been announced. Also, hang on. I actually want to find out who the referee is. Good idea. Hey, Nessie. Where are we? Warriors, Roosters. Who is our referee? It's not going to be Klein. Relax. He can't ref the Vegas games and then referee on Friday 5 days later. Have they named the referees? No, they have not named the referees. They always used to name the referees. Maybe it's not on the NRL website. It doesn't say. Yeah, they usually do around this time. They always name the referees around about this time. So maybe they might do it. I know that on the app they did. Last year anyway. No, they haven't named them yet. We'll let you guys know. By the time the preview comes out on Thursday, we'll know who the referee is by then, of course. But yeah, let's go into the New South Wales Cup side. Obviously, they are taking on the Warriors as well in a double header in New Zealand, which is great to see that we got a double header. So any of those Roosters fans are making their way over to New Zealand this weekend. You've got 2 Roosters games to look forward to this weekend, and I'm pretty sure that the Jersey Fleet take on the Warriors on Saturday in Pukekohe. So we'll go through the Roosters lineup here. Owen Flaherty is at fullback. Junior Tupou and Tom Rodwell on the wings. Tommy Talau and Ben Johnson in the centres. Of Reece Foley and Toby Rodwell in the halves. Front rows of Taylor Lasalu and Delasal Va'a with Jackson Allen at hooker. My boy Max McCarthy at lock on the back row and captain with Hayden Barton and Jackson Rahim in jersey 13 at lock. Josiah Fesalai in jersey 14. Makatoa. I thought he was gone. So I remember when I did the first Teamlist predictor for the Tigers trial game, people were saying, "Oh, Makatoa's gone." Like, it looks like that Makatoa's probably still at the club, obviously, but he's on a New South Wales Cup contract, not a first grade contract, but it looks like. But yes, so Makatoa's still around at the Roosters. Cannon McGarley in jersey 16, Aston Warwick in jersey 17, and Jeremy Joloffe in jersey 18. So that is obviously the Roosters coach is, of course, by Brett Morris. We'll have a look at the jersey flag while we're at it. Have they named it? Yes, they have. So Saxai Refai at fullback, Cade Maguire and John Paul Dorneski, Jackson Stewart. Dom Furuagi and Cade Maguire are the wingers. Jackson Stewart and John Paul Davonsky in the centres. Tyrone Hurt Pickering, what a name, by the way, in the halves there with Boo. Can you find Boo? Can you find Boo? I'm going to say Bo Pesley. It's a name for Jesse from Best Sport. All you have to do is believe. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, the front rows are Julius Mitchell and Cohen Tovai, Josiah Fesalai in the hooker position, and Kayon Tuivai and Lancelot Tavio, Jaden Coulter in jersey 13, and the bench of Jagan Tinsley, Ryder Williams, Jackson DeSales, and jersey 17, and Micaiah Laperoux Perkins in jersey 18. I just want to quickly check. We'll go to SG Ball. Have they named the sides? Where the SG Ball this weekend, though? Okay. They're at Shark Park. Has Rex been named in SG Ball? He played lot. No, Rex Bassingway. Keep an eye out that one. If you guys are obviously invested in the lower grades, keep your eyes peeled. Maybe Rex Bassingway might be a late inclusion to the New South Wales Cup side. There is one spot up to the Jersey Fleet side. There is one spot available in the Jersey Fleet team. Rex Bassingway did play SG Ball on the weekend, so keep an eye on that one. Obviously, he's not named in the SG Ball side, but it looks like there is a spot maybe available for him to play Jersey Fleet this weekend. Who knows? Also, ladies and gentlemen, as well, what are you guys' thoughts on the retro jackets Roosters Adidas tracksuit arrived today. It's sick, isn't it? It's sick. They just drop it on a midday on a Tuesday, and I'm going absolutely insane for it. Obviously, myself, Brody from City Vintage, we've been high on this for a while now. We always wanted to see this back, and Brody is the one that wanted to see this back more than anyone, and I'm just happy for him. And I'm a bit disappointed though that the hasn't really been much engagement from the club around Brody around the vintage page, because he's been one of the highest enforcers of the collecting of the Adidas range, the old retro Adidas range, and I do feel like obviously it would have been some sort of nice to see him being involved in some way. There's still time to do so in that, but that's just I saw a lot of people be upset about that. So I just thought, just have my say on it. Obviously, it's not my opinion to say or anything like that, but I just, feel like that, they might have missed the opportunity of the club there just to involve Brody. And there's still time to do so. So, but, down the track, because, that would have been a perfect, a crossover there with Brody. And obviously Retro, he was involved in it a little bit with the, with all his merch range, with his content on the merch. So it would have been cool to see like a Brody or a Retro involved in that in some way. But who knows? Maybe in the next time. Who knows? But all in all, though, the jackets look sick. And there was a few other bits and pieces from the Adidas range as well, which actually I'll get as well. I got the jacket too. I got the Roosters Adidas bag yesterday. Here it is there. I'll put it up on screen for you guys to have a little bit of a look for you guys. I will say, though, I can't believe I'm saying this. There must be something pinned to my head when I'm saying this. I will come out and say this. One of the rare things that Casal did better than Adidas so far, and it's the bags. I would probably still prefer. It's still a good bag, don't get me wrong. I'm still liking it in that. I just feel like there was more space in the Casal bags. So I'd probably say I'm probably giving that the win to Castor there. So I'll get the Castor bag up. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a comparison, for example, right? So here it is. So we've got the Castor bag from last year, and that's the Adidas one. It does look bigger size-wise, but there's two compartments on the Castor one compared to the Roosters one. So I haven't put anything in it just yet, but I just feeling obviously spoken to a few other like Retro and and Brody and that, and I asked him before I got it. It was still nice to have part of the collection and that. But yeah, so obviously the Roosters are good to see the Roosters bringing back the retail versions of the supporter bags, because I go to Peter Wins and I go to What's Your Team in Redcliffe all the time, and I just see how nice the supporter bags are, like the players' supporter bags that you can get. They just look awesome, It'd be like the Roosters didn't do one for like 5 or 6 years. I don't think a store ever did them. I got that one through the Roosters Marketplace, the foundation store, whether a resale or play rich stuff. So, but it is nice to see him back in the play as a merch item now. So, because the ISC ones every year were just they're the best at Roosters bags ever. Were the ISC ones, and I still have a few of them. So you can tell I'm also a bag collector. No pun intended. But anyway, right. I think that might do us, ladies and gentlemen. We got through the three Roosters teams. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the Sydney Roosters Diehards. We'll be live again tomorrow for a special edition of the Chook Chat podcast. We have a special guest on tomorrow, going through your latest Roosters news from out the week. Thursday, our team preview as the Roosters and the Warriors match preview on Thursday, coming out probably around the same time on Thursday, into our game day content on Friday with the watch along on my personal channel, Haynes_IT. On the Diehards, we will have our match reaction right on here immediately following the clash, and we'll have our filming of our player ratings video that will be out shortly after that one. So a lot of Roosters content coming your way on game day over the next week. It is going to be exciting times. Obviously, Teamlist today. We're about 3 weeks away from our season opener against the Warriors. I'm looking forward to the content that we're about to share with you guys over the week. It's going to be exciting. So thank you for tuning in. Like the content, subscribe if you're new, And we'll see you guys in the next one. Give us a follow on the Instagram for your latest Roosters updates, news, and opinions. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you guys same time tomorrow. Until then, goodbye for now and up the Roosters.